Hello, welcome Gymnasticsville to the first episode of Where Are They Now? Exactly how it sounds, Gymnasticsville. We have pregnancy health coach Stephanie Simmons at her beautiful place here in Norman, Oklahoma. They call it guided childbirth. So, right off the bat, Stephanie, what do you do and what's this place all about?
Yeah, so I am a certified doula. I'm a childbirth educator, but I specialize in pregnancy fitness and then also postpartum recovery.
Okay.
So that kind of encompasses everything that I do here at Guided Childbirth.
Wow. So we all know well, if you don't know, because the whole idea of the Where Are They Now is that Stephanie used to do gymnastics, was an awesome killer gymnast from Australia, went to the University of Oklahoma, won some Big Ten championships.
Big 12.
And Big 12. Big 12 championships. And can you just talk a little bit about, your journey through gymnastics and how it all began for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, I didn't know I wanted to do gymnastics. It was part of a school program that I participated in. And then, the coaches there, while we were in the program, sent a letter home to my mum saying, yeah, we think Stephanie's got some talent, you should sign her up. So I was actually 8 years old when I started training, and pretty much right from the get-go, I was on the elite stream. And by the age of 15, 16, I was training 32 hours a week. And so I trained at the Victorian High Performance Centre. I was on full scholarship for the Victorian Institute of Sport. And also was a member of the Australian Olympic training squad.
Wow.
So that was pretty awesome. And then I ended up getting a scholarship to come over here to the States and attend the University of Oklahoma and compete for their gymnastics team. So yeah, it's very exciting.
So gymnastics, that transition, everyone. So you want to talk a little bit about, you graduated from Oklahoma. What guided you from Oklahoma now to where you are today? I mean, what was your major in school, and did that have any effect on what you're doing now?
Yeah, so I've always had a passion for sports, but my other passion has been pregnancy and childbirth. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in psychology.
Okay.
And then actually after that, I started a master's program in sports psychology because I thought that was the route that I wanted to take.
Very cool.
But after taking a few classes, I kind of realized that this wasn't where my heart was at. And so I was in Florida at the time, and I was searching for midwifery schools.
Okay.
And came across a doula certification. I was like, what is a doula? What does a doula do? I had no idea what the word was.
Okay.
And then I ended up taking the certification, and I fell in love. And so we can talk a little bit more about what a doula does in a little bit. But essentially that's kind of what kick-started me and getting me introduced to the birthing world. And I've been a doula for 6.5 years. And, from what I've experienced throughout my time as a doula has led me to this point now, to where I'm now specializing in pregnancy fitness. So a doula is a support person who helps expecting mothers and families throughout the pregnancy and childbirth journey. So I help educate mums and families. I support them in any way possible. So whether that's helping them understand what is to be expected throughout their pregnancy, but then also during childbirth. And then even, as a fitness professional, I help them to prepare their bodies for childbirth as well. But during the time of the birth, I'm there to support the families from the time that they call me until the baby is delivered. And then I also stay for up to 2 hours to help with the initial breastfeeding as well. So, I could be there for 3 hours, or I could be there for 33 hours. There is no way of telling how long birth is going to last. And then postpartum, I also do a home visit as well to check in on mum and baby and make sure everything's going okay. But not only that, I do work in lots of different birth settings. So whether a parent chooses to deliver her baby at home, I can help support her in that environment, but also birthing centers and hospitals. In the hospital setting, a lot of what I do is to help advocate for mothers and families Because being in a medical setting, there are situations in which medical procedures or interventions may be recommended. So I help families to come, ask the right questions so that way they feel like they're an active participant in their birth and are doing the best thing possible for themselves and making those decisions based on, the education that they receive both from me and their medical staff as well.
All right, Stephanie, so guided childbirth, we're here. Is there any type of programs or anything you use in terms of how your clientele follows? Do you have any type of programming or anything of that nature?
Sure, yeah. Well, as I specialize in pre and postnatal fitness, we offer mind, body, baby fitness programs, both for pregnancy and postpartum here at Guided Child. I offer what's called functional training and labor training. The functional training is more strength training based, and then the labor training is more interval trainings where we do an exercise, get that heart rate going, and then we have periods of rest. Kind of mimics the pattern of labor contractions. So that really, really helps with also the mind and the body preparation during that labor conditioning.
Nice. So what's the philosophy behind the programs of mind, body, baby fitness?
Yeah, well, for me and all of the experience that I've had in helping mothers throughout their pregnancy and also assisting them during their labor, I understand that giving birth is both, I like to say, 50% mental and 50% physical.
Okay.
So that's where the mind, body and baby comes into it. So the mental preparation, the physical preparation, and then obviously the reward at the end is holding your baby in your arms.
Gotcha. No, that's very cool. And how much of your past gymnastics experience helps out with some of the, fitness aspect of the pregnancy and childbirth?
Yeah, so as a gymnast, I very much relied on my technique. I wasn't a very powerful gymnast, so I relied on my technique a lot to get me through and do those high-level skills. And I kind of use that within the prenatal corrective exercise. So it's a little bit different to other exercises that may be available. So it's definitely not the same as yoga or Pilates. It's quite different.
Okay.
It's based on functional training. So specific to movements that you're doing every day, so squatting, lunging, pushing, pulling actions, bending and twisting. So I focus on those actions and help mums to understand how to perform them in the correct way using the correct muscles, so that way they're protecting their body while also making themselves, stronger in preparation for childbirth.
Favorite gymnastics moment? That's where we got to end off the show. Where are they now? But, as a gymnast, what was your favorite moment or time or anything of that nature regarding gymnastics?
Okay. Well, that's kind of a tricky question. Let me think. I think I'd have to say competing at the Australian Olympic Trials was one of my favorite moments. I hit all of my routines, and that was actually my last competition that I competed in for Australia, Australia, before coming over to the States. So I was just so proud of myself for, ending my career in gymnastics in Australia the way I did there at the Olympic Trials. But also the whole experience over here in the States and NCAA sports and competing on a huge stage with all of the fans, there's just nothing like it in Australia. So that was really, really cool to be a part of that.